We have water storage, and the roots are real shallow. They grow. We'll repeat it. Abram, Emerald 2. Bigger solar went right in there. I need to clean them. Got box cutters or something. Need as much voltage to get through a little bit. So I don't want to burn it. So they already got out. I think they try to get in there pretty good. And then we got a hot wire. We'll be able to grow things. All trained so far. So I found something interesting today. Really interesting. It could be a game changer for us if we're able to use it. So I was looking in the trees. The trees out here, they hold a lot of hidden history, a lot of hidden things, like the grain bin is one thing. But in this area, near the house, there used to be an old black school here. We live near Boley, Oklahoma. So Boley is historically all black town. It's very windy, so hopefully you can hear me. You can see the foundations hidden within the trees. I've cut some down. I'm gonna clear this area out more. But you see the foundation here, and it's very interesting because this was built a long time ago from native stone on the land. So there's a foundation. You can kind of see the outlines of it here. And so we've always known this school was here before, but I was looking at the area earlier because I'm gonna plan on starting to kind of manage the area and try to preserve it. But I noticed something over here by this tree looked different. So when I move this stone, I seen there's an old shallow well. So I've been doing research on it. We're gonna see if we can use it. I can see the water. I don't know if you can see it, but with the flash you can see it. But I can see it now. There's some water in there. We haven't had a rain in quite some time, a good rain, so it can hold water for a while. You see the old piping here. It was an old system, I think, that they were developing, or they had developed for the school. So you see the grain bin. There's a stone foundation here, and then the water well here. And so this might have been a part of a pump system, as well as this piping. It goes into the ground. And so it may have been part of a big hand pump, some type of a pump. I'm not sure how they're getting the water out. But then further down, maybe about 200 feet down slope towards that way, there's like an old cistern that they may have been using to store water. So I think this may have been some kind of water storage system back then. This school may have been built in the early 1900s. Doing research on the actual well itself, it may have been built in the 1920s, maybe 1950s. So it's real windy today. But so based on the concrete and the steel, we know it had to be developed probably in the 1900s, but it could have originally been hand dug. So they could have dug this by hand originally and then developed it more over time by adding the concrete and the metal, the steel casing. That's what this is. That's a steel casing. And so they could have added that to a shallow hand dug well. And if it was hand dug, it could have been dug in the 1800s. So I'll show you the cistern over here. And so I wasn't really sure what it was at first. This is what one of the first things we found. We had a neighbor, he told us, he grew up out here, he told us that there was an old school there. So he knows a little bit more of the history out here, one of our neighbors across the road. So it's an old black school. During that time, blacks in America weren't allowed to go to school, they weren't allowed to read and write, things like that. So they had to develop their own schools. And in that time, Oklahoma was known as Indian Territory, which a lot of blacks after the Civil War came here. After 1865, they came here seeking freedom, opportunity, land ownership. And so that's what we're doing today. It's the same things. And so if you look at this old concrete here, it's concrete, but you notice it has native stone in it, because this is how they made concrete back then. They mixed a mixture with the native stones, which is sandstone. And these stones were here. If you've seen our previous video, this was the tallest tree on our property. I cut it down. Because it was rotted and it's kind of a hazard. It's a huge sycamore tree, and if you know sycamore trees, they grow in areas that are wet. And this area, you can't really tell now, but there's a stone foundation in here. So we may be able to uncover this area. It could be dangerous because of the voids in the ground. It could collapse, but the tree roots may be holding the structure. And so I knew there was something here because we're not really by the creek. But for a sycamore tree to grow that tall, it had to be near water. The roots are real shallow, they grow near water. And this is also a mulberry tree that I left here. And the mulberry trees, they like moisture as well. So I knew that this had to have been something. I know water seeps through, flows through this area. But all these stones, we can clear this out. We'll try to use the excavator. Try to get these stumps out. I may have to burn them down. But this is a cistern in here. The tree was growing out of it. And you can see there's no snakes under there. These stones. And so it's very interesting. So we're gonna see what we can uncover with the excavator. So stay tuned. We might make a little series out of it. Show the history. I'm sweating a lot, it's getting pretty hot. But we're gonna try to see if we can utilize this water well. We've got a shallow pump we can probably put in it. And so we'll be trying to manage this area. See what else we can uncover. There's a lot of interesting history. If you know Aboli, Oklahoma, you know it's a lot of history. And so sometimes the history will repeat itself. And that seems to be what's happening today. Me and my wife, we were building the same thing that they were building back then. a self-sufficient, independent, self-governing system. And it takes a community. But the foundation that they set is still here for us today. So all we have to do is build on that foundation. They probably never thought that decades later, this is what would become of it. But what they built, we can use today, because this will be a game changer. This, we're gonna test that quality of the water, see what we got in there. I smelled it. It smelled earthy. It didn't smell any bad smells, any gases or anything. And there's water in there, so I'm not sure how deep it is. We got to see if we can measure it. From looking at it, where I see the water, I don't know, maybe about 20 feet, 10 to 20. And so that's just until I see the water surface. We don't know how, I don't know how deep the water is itself. So we can do a test and pump the water out and run the water and see how much water is in there, and maybe test how many gallons per minute we can pump out of there. But it's in a good location. It's by the grain bin. That will be our crop field over here. We got our high tunnels over here. Put another crop field up here. And I also plan on eventually, when I build a barn, we're gonna put the barn over here. We're gonna put the animals over here. And so if we create a pumping system, building off of the system that was already developed, we can irrigate all these fields. We can get water to the animals. And so, trying to develop a system, a self-sustaining system. Alright, so barely made it. Hey, come here, sheep. Hey. Come on, sheep. Yeah, move. Go in. Get him in here. Abram, you better not, boy. Get on the other side. Annoying.
Sit there right there.
The sheep in the fence. Gotta keep Coco out. Standing on a fire ant hill. And so we got the sheep in here. Hopefully they'll stay in. We got to get the lambs trained to the electric fence. It's not on right now. I gotta go fix the energizer. And I'm gonna hook it up over here so that when they touch it, they'll get used to the shock. Right now they're all touching it. They know it's not on. So I gotta get it powered on. Hopefully it'll keep them in, it'll keep coyotes out. Coco will probably come out here. Hopefully she'll kind of be near them. Actually, I gotta give them this mineral too. But hopefully she'll, hey. So hopefully she'll stay with them, at least somewhat. Because she can kind of protect them. This somewhere. Give him some mineral. I'm gonna come back and bring the water. Give him some water. So we moved the sheep into the electric fence, and we haven't used this. This is a solar energizer or fence charger, and it runs off of solar. This is the PRS Pro 100. It's a pretty nice fence charger, and what it does is it keeps the electric fence electric, and it keeps the sheep from getting out, and it keeps predators from getting in. But we haven't used it in a while. It's been sitting in the field. I think since last fall, all fall, winter, and spring. So of course, looks like mice chewed up the wiring on the positive and negative wires coming from the actual energizer. So the ends should have these clips. This is the negative, and this is the positive one that got disconnected. So I'm gonna see if I can reconnect them. It shouldn't be too difficult. I'm gonna just have to cut this off, and then this wire, it doesn't look like it got chewed on, but it did get kind of nicked. So I might just tape it up. Eventually I may just replace these wires because they kind of got exposed. But the batteries still seem to be pretty good shape. So I got these butt connectors. I tested the battery, the multimeter already. It's at 13 volts, which is good, fully charged. And so I got these butt connectors. I just got to figure out what size the wire is. Maybe around 14 gauge wire. And I'll use these connectors just to reconnect it. So I'll show how that works, but it'll be pretty simple. Should be pretty simple. We'll just reconnect this one, and we're gonna connect it to the fence where the sheep are at. And hopefully it'll be working well enough to keep them in there. And so we used to have a tester forgot what it's called, but it's just like a fence tester. You can test the voltage with it. Maybe it's a voltage meter or voltmeter. But I can use this multimeter that we have already. I just turn it to, you can see that, 20 volts right here. Because this is a 12 volt battery, and so it has to be under the 20 volts. So you see it's at 0 right now. These are two different batteries, both connected to the energizer. So if I test each terminal, you can see this is a positive and negative terminal. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's at 13.04. That's the voltage. See if I can sit that right there. I'm gonna leave it. Pretty much right here though, you can see the voltage on the multimeter. So it's 13.04. And this is also, let's see, 13.04. So they're the same voltage, which they should be. And they're fully charged. It's a 12 volt battery, so it should be around 12.6, 13 volts. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and I need to get some scissors. So I'll cut this. So actually, I forgot I got cutters on this. Kind of got a little rusty, but I got cutters on this crimper. So I'm just cut. You can see the wire right here. It's all damaged. I'm gonna cut where it's not damaged. So about right there. I didn't get a clean cut, but okay. So now the wire is cut. We're gonna strip the wire a little bit to take off this plastic covering, the insulation. So I'm not sure what gauge wire this is, but I'm gonna guess it's let's see. Let's just try it right here first. Okay. So that worked perfectly. We stripped the wire now. I'm gonna twist it a little bit. So I try to strip it. I may have stripped it a little too much, but it should be alright. About 1/4 to 1/2 inch long of bare metal wire. You can see that it's not focusing very well, but try to get it about 1/2 inch long. 1/4 inch be good. And so I got to figure out which one of these butt connectors will fit. Well, it's either 18. Let's see. So these butt connectors, you can see them. They're called butt connectors, but I can't show it because it's not focusing. See if I can get that. Okay, so you see that? It says 16 gauge. So it's 22 through 16 gauge wire. That's what the AWG stands for. And so the higher the number, the smaller the wire. So 22 is very skinny, thin wire. 16 is still pretty small. But you see, like these other ones I have, these are for bigger wires. So like some of these wires I may use like in the vehicles or something that pulls more power, bigger solar systems. And so this gauge wire is 12 through 10. So any wire that's 12 through 10 gauge can fit in this connector. So I'm trying to find the right connector that's a good size that'll fit. It'll be probably one of these. These are 22 through 16, so that's pretty small. This is a pretty small wire, so I think it should fit this one. If not, I'll do this one, which is 16 through 14 gauge. So pretty sure it'll fit in here. And so let's see if I can get a little closer. Okay, so it's really windy. I'm not sure how good the audio will be, but this wire, I've already kind of twisted it to keep it together. And so I just slip it in through this hole right here. The wind's blowing the tripod. But you can see the hole. There's a little, it's hard to see in there, but there's a metal, like casing inside this plastic insulation. And so you want the wire to touch that casing. That's why it needs to be at least about a 1/2 inch. Bare minimum 1/4 inch, but 1/2 inch is probably the most you'll need. So you slip that in there. If you can see that, the wire went right in there. So I'll take the crimpers. So we're using 22 through 16, so I'll use that top one up there. And we'll just take the end of the metal, where that metal casing is at, and just press it down firmly until it bends. It'll crimp it down. So you see we got a good connection now. So the wire is on there. You can tug it a little bit, just gently, to see. It shouldn't come out. If it comes out, you'll have an issue. So let me press it one more time just to make sure. But it's on there pretty good. We're going to do the same thing with the other end. So we got that on there. So now we got this. It's the alligator clip. I need to clean them. Got dirt, but this is what connects to the fence. It carries the positive voltage, and I'll just be doing the same thing with this. We're gonna go down to the end that's damaged over here. So see where it was chewed on. We're gonna cut this off. Like that, we just cut there. And we'll do the same thing, just strip it about a 1/2 inch. So the crimpers make it a lot easier stripping it. You can use a knife or a box cutters or something, but it takes a little more skill. And you can see that. It's hard to see it, but oh well. So we'll do the same thing now with the other end. Just slip this wire in. I already twisted it. Just make sure it's all together. You don't want any wires fraying or separating. You want it to be all one strong cable. So you see we got a good cable of wires, because it's really multiple wires all stranded together. You see that? So it's multiple tiny wires stranded together. That's what's going to hold the current. So we wanted to get as good of a connection, because these fence energizers, they carry a lot of voltage and it pulses, and so we need those pulses. We need as much voltage to get through the fence as possible, because it's going to be a lot of brush, it's going to be a lot of trees, it's going to be a lot of plants that actually ground the or short this system. And so the more voltage we get, the better. So we do the same thing with this, just like that. So now we got a good connection here. Just gonna get a lighter and melt these little plastic in so that it seals it, keep any moisture from getting in there, because the moisture will also cause corrosion and cause issues with the voltage connection. So let me do that. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this because it's so windy, but I'm gonna try it anyway. Let's see, maybe I can block it. I just need to heat it up a little bit. So I had to bring it inside the house because it's too windy. So I don't want to burn it, but I'm going to put a lot of heat on it so that it shrinks. It's a heat shrink tubing, so the heat shrinks it down. So the heat shrinks it down to where it seals the wire in there. So now we got the charger loaded up. I'm gonna go check on the sheep with the trike. It's kind of a ways away. This is the furthest we put them, so we put them in the electric fence. They're on the e-bike. I'll head over there. See, they're all over here. You see the lambs, they've never been in the electric fence before. And so we're gonna have to keep an eye and check on them to make sure they don't get tangled up in it. Hey, I guess he was out. So he already got out. And so I'm gonna turn it on and watch them and see. I'm hoping that they'll touch it with it on and I'll get to see them learn. Usually they learn pretty quick. So I'm gonna set this up. I got the multimeter in case it's not working. I think the ground rods are in here. So we got these 2 copper rods. They're ground rods. So we have to ground it by putting it in the ground for it to work. I forgot to bring a mallet. Had I been thinking, I would have brought the mallet or a hammer. So I'm just hammering it in. Try to get in there pretty good because that's gonna help with the voltage. I don't want to put it in too much because I had to get it back out, but you can pour water on these to get a better charge, but it's been all right without that. I've also heard putting it sideways you can get more surface area, but I need a rock or something to get this one in there. So let me try this, see if I can get this in there. So we got 2 ground rods. One goes in and then the other one goes in about 2 feet away, a foot or 2 away. And so that way you get more ground points. So I probably should lift it up a little bit. I like to tilt this some, but it should be all right. So it's facing the south. Keep forgetting the camera's right there. So it's facing the south, that way south. It doesn't need to always have full sun. That's what the 2 batteries are for, so that it can hold a charge even when there's not complete sun. As long as it gets enough, it doesn't take too much constant power to charge it. So just sit that in there. All right, and so now we open it up. So we pull out our wires. Also, if you didn't want to use solar, you can plug it in to a regular power outlet. So that would come in handy if it was right by the house. So we got our ground wire, the negative wire, and then we got our positive. And so slip these through. Okay, so to keep it neat and to keep it from getting more damaged, it has these little areas, which is nice. You can put the wires. So I have the butt connector and still inside the case, so that won't really get exposed. And then the wire can come through this little groove, so that when you close it, it doesn't like pinch the wires. So the same with the ground wire, it goes through here and goes around, so that way we can close it without any issues. And so it's pretty weather resistant. It's been outside all since last fall really, and it's done pretty well. So you take the negative one will go right here. So we got the charger on that copper rod, and we'll just sit the negative wire right there connected to the ground rod. So that should be good. Hopefully that's not too low. And so we got another wire, it fell out. So this is another part of the ground wiring. So you connect that to the other ground rod. So I may need to clean these because they kind of got a little corroded. Try to get in there good, because if it comes off, the fence won't be charged. And then we'll just come through here and connect that one to the same ground rod as the other one. Try not to touch the ground itself. So I may need to kind of clear some of that, but I think it should be all right. So this stays on there. So we got the 2 negatives, and we got it connected to this. So the last part is connecting the hot wire. Clean it off a little bit. So the hot wire, I just put it on this. It'd probably be better to put it on a end point where there's like a metal clip. It'd probably have a better contact, but this is all right. The sheep are pretty well trained to the electric fence. We just got to get the lambs trained. So we don't need that strong of a charge. Just a small charge will deter them. That's all we're trying to do, is deter them. We're not trying to zap them. We're trying to get them away from the fence. Okay, so we'll see if it's working. So the electric fence, it has these threaded wires just like the other wiring. You can see these stranded wires going all through the electric fencing. And so what it does is this pulses and it sends electric waves throughout the whole fence where it's connected. And it goes through like a loop, electric wave just looping around and pulses. And so when they touch it, when it comes through and hits them, they'll feel a shock. And so it doesn't really hurt, but it feels weird. It's hard to hold on to it while you're getting electrocuted. So we got it on. You see light flashing. So we'll see if it's working. I'm sure there's a way I can use the multimeter, but One way I test it is I take my finger and touch it. And so I feel it. It's definitely working. So we got a decent charge. And so I'll test it on the other end. And so watch the sheep to see if any of them touch the fence. I'm hoping the lambs will touch it and will run off, because we have to make sure when they learn to get in the fence that they don't run forward and get tangled up into the fence, because that can cause issues if they get tangled up and they're constantly getting electrocuted. That can happen, but hopefully they'll just touch it with their noses and they'll turn away and run off. So I'm on the other end, and you see we got a lot of trees and brush on the fencing, and so when you have that, it shorts the wire, it grounds it out so that it's not as strong. So the more that the sheep eat in here, the stronger the fence will get as they clear around the edges. But it's not as strong when it's touching branches and stuff. But we don't really have an option. It's just brushy, thick out here. But if you got a clean, open pasture, it's a lot easier. And so we feel the shock. And so sometimes it takes a while. When you touch it, you don't feel it instantly. But when it comes through in that wave, we feel it. So it's not as strong back here. But it's good enough, I think, to where it'll deter them. And I don't like it too strong anyway, especially now we have the lambs and they're not trained to it. We'll see how they do. I see one of them getting close, but we'll have to see if they touch it. Kaya might be the first one. But this will keep them safe. You saw there was a lamb out when I got over here. Just put them over here earlier this morning. There was already a lamb out. Okay, let's see if she touches it. She touched it, but she didn't touch it long enough. So she better find out. And so she just got zapped and she backed up. So if she keeps doing that, she's gonna learn to not get on the fence. It's a small zap. It wasn't too bad. Actually, I don't even know if this one, I need to actually connect this one more. So see, it's actually, this one's not completely connected. I try to connect the clip on there, but it's still a charge because it loops all the way around. So I'm gonna turn it off. We'll reconnect that one. So I just kind of wrap it around. It's not really the best way to connect it, but it works for what we're doing. So see, I just looped that wire around so that both the fences are more connected. They're already touching, but this helps the wires kind of strand together. And then that clip I put on the wire on the fence. It's better. There's some areas where both the clips, each end should have a clip where the clips clip together. You have a better connection. That's how most of them are, but some of them got damaged or we had to cut it, so the clip isn't on there. And so that could help our connection more if we were to fix those. But let me turn this back on so he'll learn, and we'll see if it's working. You got it right by his face. I don't know, he don't seem like he's getting shocked. So I don't know, let's see. So I feel it. I don't know, he ain't feeling it, but if they go deeper into it, they got a thick hide and coat. They're shedding their wool, but he's still pretty thick. But if he keeps touching it, he'll learn. It's not that strong of a voltage, but they're not, I don't think they'll go through it. The more they go through it, the more they touch their body, the more they're gonna get shocked. So it looked like he got zapped, they backed off. Keep checking on them throughout the rest of the day, periodically. We're only leaving them out here during the day, since it's way out here. There's more predator potential in this area. There's a lot more coyotes, and so we're only gonna leave them out here during the day, and then we're gonna bring them back in the pen at night. And so they should come back hopefully pretty easily. We'll put them back in the fence during the day so we can plant our crops. We'll be able to grow things without having to worry about the sheep trying to eat everything up. Also our neighbors, they're trying to eat our neighbor's garden too, so be a good time to lock them up. It's a lot of green grass for them to eat at no cost to me, because I don't want to have to feed my sheep every day. That gets old very fast and very expensive. And so we just feed them the trees and grass and brush. Let's see if I can get through here. So if you notice, none of them are touching the fence. So they know that it's on, which is good. So they're all trained so far. Let's count them up and make sure they're all here. All right. So we'll turn off the charger. We'll let them out and try to get them to follow me. I'm gonna have to sit my phone down because it's gonna be crazy. So I won't be able to film them. I'm gonna get the bike, get the bucket, bring my speed off.